it is good to be vulnerable. Now, the biggest problem is that kids nowadays, they think that if I'm vulnerable, then somebody else would take advantage of me.
I do understand that it's not always possible for parents to validate their kids' feeling.
But now I think parents, they themselves are very aware of what to do.
It's important to have those emotional, rants.
The idea today is to just try and answer these questions as with the perspective of what you have seen in school, how you see a teenager's life. Because I know that a lot of teenagers come to you, they talk to you, or even though if you are around a teenager, you're able to see certain things that a lot of parents might not be able to. Not just parents, but other people who are working with teenagers as well. When it comes to most families, I've seen that they are trying to deal with a lot of issues that come up. Obviously, these people that I'm talking about, these parents that I'm talking about, who actually do that work of talking about these problems are very few. So I would, as counselors, I would love to understand from your end that when these parents are actually taking a pause to talk about these different issues, talking about emotional awareness, relationships together, what kind of long-term changes are we seeing in teenagers because of these?
What I feel, when parents start talking about these things, right? How you manage your emotions, how you manage certain situation, it helps child to think, right? You will have to show them, right? You will have to guide them. You cannot expect कि बच्चा खुद ही कर लेगा, right? They are bachas, they are kids, they will not do it. You have to hold their hand, right? You will have to give them opportunity to learn, to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. The moment they make a mistake and you immediately respond to it, like pani fek diya and you respond ki kya kya, the bacha will think that is wrong, right? If the parent बोलते हैं कि if the parents say कि कुछ नहीं होगा, हम ये साफ कर लेंगे, ठीक है, next time we'll try it again, okay, the bacha will learn ki okay, I can learn from it, I can make mistakes and I can learn from it. Eventually that behavior will be showcased in his relationship, in his adulthood, right? Similarly with emotional regulation, if you're all the time nagging, if you're all the time saying ki you're just lying, you're crying, you're doing this for attention, the bacha will think ki shayad this is true, right? This is what I am doing. If the parent understand, I do understand that it's not always possible for parents to validate their kids feeling, because if you're all the time validating, the child again will learn ki aisa hi hoga, हाँ, अगर मुझे गुस्सा आ गया, I throw something and someone will come and validate me. That will never happen. You need to validate their feelings. You need to validate their feelings. At the same time, you have to also understand and explain it to them why this behavior is not acceptable.
Correct.
Right? And that will help them.
It's important to have those emotional, rants between the parent and a child. And sometimes those rants could be going in a positive way, sometimes it could go in a negative way, that's okay. But to have a conversation about your, emotional side of a parent or a child, that helps them to somehow understand that it is good to be vulnerable. Now, the biggest problem is that kids nowadays, they think that if I'm vulnerable, then somebody else will take advantage of me. And parents also teach the children in such a way कि अपना, don't show your weaker side to others because people will take advantage of yours. But I think in a way, it's good to be vulnerable with the kind of times that we are facing or we are going to face in the future. It's good to understand your emotions. It's good to first have a clarity about how you're feeling, and that will only come from home. How your parents are talking to each other, if or not they are talking about their emotions, and how are they addressing all those emotions in between, like, both the parents. So that is very important because that will also help them later on to express their emotions in front of people, whether in friendships or relationships or marriages or whatever. Yeah, even with their kids later on. So I think it starts from the bottom line, from the foundation year of a kid, where you try and make them understand that emotions are real. It is not supposed to be something which is, supposed to be hidden. It is something to be shown and to be understood. So I think if that's there, a lot of things automatically for a child, becomes very clear in the future. They are very headstrong about what they know, what they don't know, and the right and wrongs also somehow become very clear.
I find a very positive attitude of the current generation of parents who are trying their level best to communicate with their children, which is a very nice change to see amongst them. Because I think we all will agree that our parents were a little not that much of a communication specialist, if I could say. They had this, we had to, no one was taught about their emotional regulation, how to do this and that, because we have to again understand that when they were growing up, they didn't have that either. But now I think parents, they themselves are very aware of what to do, and they have this sort of awareness that this is what I need to do, this is what I should be able to provide. Now, what level of success will that bring? I think we have to be on the positive side and agree that, or accept that it will be a more positive result, at least
I
as
mean,
compared to now.
yeah, it never guarantees that even
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
become a better
exactly.
parent as
Yeah,
a emotional regulator
yeah,
or
exactly.
somebody who's
Yes,
talking about that,
it's not a
that your
guarantee.
child will actually
Absolutely,
end up
absolutely.
being
Yeah, yeah,
the certain way that you really
yeah.
want. But
Exactly,
it's just that as a parent, you can almost do everything that is there in your
yeah,
hands rather than just saying that, I
yeah.
cannot do
At
this.
I
least
cannot.
try.
Yeah.
At least try.
Try.
Right.
This is what Dikshita said, right? About the social media. What Devashi said, because of information that is widely
Yeah.
available, parents are also learning.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right?
That's there's two ways to
Yeah.
that, 100%.